Awesome. I am live. All right. So it looks like the Democratic Party gonna screw this shit up big time. And it's fucking obvious right now, based on how they have behaved. They have been behaving for past 2, 3 years, or even just talk about like decades of horrible decisions. But especially after 2016, they did not learn any lesson. That's so fucked up. How in this world are they running an organization? And at the individual level, I get it, like people are trying their best. But seriously? Are you? I mean, if you're running such a big, huge organization, and you're actually being biased toward one candidate or the other. And I get it, like, I might come as biased because I'm coming, biased in some sense for some of the candidates I favor in, but it's not me, it's the math, asshole. Do the math. If all the statistics, if everything is adding up and pointing out who the clear winner is, and you're still kind of fucking latching on to some asshole who's trying to be, I don't know, uh, Obama version 2, here's a news flash, Pete. You'll never be Obama version 2. You are I don't know, man. I feel you might be a really good person, but you are kind of political stooge. It's pretty obvious the way you've been, riding Bernie's wave. But when I say Bernie's wave, I don't mean that Bernie deserve it or anything. Bernie have earned it. It's a different uh, level, I guess, which you would never understand, or I don't know, man. This probably is your highest level of popularity. I mean, you can build your house on a shaky foundation, but how long it gonna last? Based on my experience, like my fucked up life, I can tell you it doesn't last long. And once you're in office, what the fuck are you gonna do? Like, are you just gonna reverse everything Trump did? And what does that even mean? Like, some of the things which Trump did was like horrendous. Yeah, my English, but uh, and just by reverting some of those policies, you're gonna think that you're gonna gain people's trust. No, dude, you lost it. You had years to build that trust or earn that trust, and you have consistently failed to kind of show why you're the best presidential candidate. And the reason I'm kind of like just focusing on you is because that's where the Democratic Party is focusing all of the energy. And dude, the Democrats, you have not learned any lesson. And trust me, I have no stakes in all of this shit. And the way my life is going, I might not even be in the country before, 2020 actually takes place. So I have no stakes in here. But I still see the groundwork which Bernie is doing and the movement which he's building versus how the money is flowing within politics and how it's affecting his work. Pete just want to be a president. Whereas Bernie, if you look at his track record, but even if you don't, want to go 30, 40 years back or whatever, back in 2015, he didn't even want to run for president because he knows how system works. The system is biased towards anyone who makes sense. Or I can see that, from my point of view, I might be the only person, or, our team or my tribe is the only tribe which makes sense. And to be honest, like watching some of the Fox News and random shit, I can see like why the country itself is divided into two different bubbles. And it's not gonna get any better because who is playing into this division? And the people in power, and who is in power, who is in control, and who have more motive to be in control. Just look at the bigger picture. And again, like Pete, is he really gonna bring some significant changes? Dude, your track record kind of shows it all. Like you couldn't even run South Bend, one of the I would say not the largest city in Indiana, and I've lived in Indiana for 4 years, and I know what's the smallest and the biggest city in Indiana looks like. So I know what kind of city you used to be mayor of. But that being said, like you fucked up that gig as well. So, there are a lot of questions within your record to begin with. And on top of that, how this, Iowa caucus or clusterfuck is kind of unfolding, it's mind fucking blowing. Literally, I'm actually, you know, I'm lack of words. Like, what's going on with this fucking reality? Seriously, on one end we have Trump as president, and on top of that, none of the Congress works. Regardless of all the divisions and all the other beliefs they kind of bring in there, but regardless of all that BS, like the Democratic Party itself is so fucking broken, and they are trying to latch on to the final moments of their power. It's so pathetic to kind of see, a sort of like a coronavirus, right? Trying to grapple into existence. Once we're gonna defeat coronavirus, and or when we're gonna defeat coronavirus, unless it kind of suck in all the humanity all of a sudden, which gonna be like a surprise, like a surprise attack, which is which is a different train of thought, but. Yeah, that's what people in power at DNC is trying to do. Trying to portray Pete as the guy who will bring the change. Now, dude, the only change you're gonna bring is more shit. You are the swamp. The people in power in Democratic Party, you are the swamp. That's the reason Trump won. And trust me, with this all shill, the people knows. Public knows. That's why they don't vote, or they vote for the other guy. And you're giving more and more motives. I just looked up at the math. Pete won 14 delegates and Sanders won 12? Are you fucking kidding me? With yeah, you're gonna play that electoral college BS. Alright. The game is on, man. The Democrats, you. See, here's the thing. Regardless of how this unfolds, I mean, because Trump is crazy, I guess there are gonna be few voters who will latch onto the Pete train, but Pete, he's not exciting at all. So what end up happening is a lot of people gonna move to Trump train, and I can see this unfold in real time. And some might argue again, like I have my biases, which I completely do. And to be fair, Trump gonna use this shit and blow in Democratic Party's ass, which is gonna be fucking hilarious to watch for sure. Honestly, like when Hillary rigged the system against Bernie, I kind of like sort of knew within me that yeah, she gonna lose because if you can't play fair to win against a candidate who's powered by the people, then you are not getting it. you're not understanding what's going on here. People do understand. Sure, you can rally up on this emotional wave and this, emotional jerk off, but people knows, people knows what's going on, and they know that there need to be a systematic change. And that's bring in the bigger conversation, right? Like, what exactly is the fucking systematic change? What part of the system is not working? And the answer to that is the majority of it. And that's why, Bernie Sanders and Tulsi Gabbard and Andrew Yang are gaining so much traction, whereas Pete Buttigieg, Amy Klobuchar, no. And also Elizabeth Warren. I mean, other than all the shit she did in the past, uh, yeah, just follow the money. That's the biggest thing about politics. Follow the fucking money. Because if you want to know where the center of power is, figure out the way how the power is measured. Right now, it's measured based on money. So follow the fucking money. We don't live in, I don't know, maybe like, pre-democracy where the power used to be based on monarch, obviously, but also based on the class or whatever. So you can leverage your class to do anything you can, which is kind of true even now. But that being aside, in politics, since you want to know the shift or the who is holding the power, follow the money. And Pete, you have a fucking horrible record on that. And a lot of other candidates do too. That's why I look at the candidates who are actually funded by people, and there are only three: Bernie, Tulsi, and Andrew Yang. And DNC, instead of like being inviting all of these candidates, obviously they are doing what, like I said before, hanging on to their power, and they're gonna rig the fucking system against the people-funded movement. Well, let's see how it's gonna unfold. I know uh, Andrew Yang and Tulsi Gabbard, they have like a very specific agenda, but Bernie's agenda is to, like couple of them, which are actually means a lot to me. One of them is definitely climate crisis. Because the crisis we are having right now, you can tell clearly it's gonna be more ramped up, more fucked up in the future. So if you're not gonna figure this shit out right now, it's gonna be more and more and more horrible things happening. And I guess that's why all the religions maybe predicted end of time, because that's bound to happen. It's a cyclic in nature. When we treat nature as an enemy, and we try to gain control over the nature fights back. Hence the coronavirus, and that's one of the core issue which I resonate with Bernie. Also, Medicare for all. I mean, honestly, like I said, I'm not gonna be even here, probably. Hopefully not, but probably. But if that ended up happening, then I can still feel it, like why people in general would understand. Every one of us together, if we have this better system where we can help each other out, and no one have to die, and you are saving money. What the fuck? What the fuck? It's like, I don't know how to describe it. It's like, I guess it's like discovering masturbation, right? Like, what the fuck? I can do this shit? Yeah, so Medicare for all, it's a no-brainer. And of course, there are going to be powerhouses who don't want Medicare for all, who don't want to fight against climate crisis. Those are my top two issues. But also a lot of the other issues like net neutrality, which is a bipartisan issue because I I don't even know any. Excuse me. Yeah, I am. Yeah, I know it's a filter thing to kind of burp in front of people if anyone is even watching, but that's the most human thing. So, mm, but the point is, what the fuck was the point? Ah, shit. I lost my train of thought. Which happens a lot, and that's why I guess like live stream is in a way good because I can just bounce through all of this funky thing I'm thinking of in the moment. But yeah, going back to the net neutrality thing, I think Elon Musk is getting that covered. I don't know how it's gonna play out because a lot of people don't age well with power and data, and when I say data, like data is the power of, or the data economy gonna be the most, I think, the next thing, and yeah. So Elon Musk is obviously gonna capture the Starlink and create this internet, satellite internet for the entire globe. I don't know how that's gonna play out, but hopefully that will get rid of the net neutrality BS we are facing right now. Because to be honest, you already don't know who am I, and on top of that, it's pretty, it's fucking pain to kind of like express and expose yourself to larger audience. And if I have to uh, pay for it, it would be like devastating. Trust me, I am already going through a lot of bad shit right now. And on top of that, if I'm put into that situation, that would be demotivating for so many people who are actually doing amazing things. So, yeah, climate crisis, Medicare for all, net neutrality. These are the top three things for me. And I guess some of it is because even if I end up moving to India, climate crisis is something which will be affecting me there too. And I know, I'm being selfish, and I can go on rant for Indian politics, which is very, very parallel to what's going on here. And you can see things unfold in like a three-dimensional, and draw the similarities between India and here. Oh, trust me. I mean, and I bet like that's same for any other country. Um, but coming back to the U.S. political system, I think people will fight harder. I hope so, at least, because Bernie, he kind of built this movement. It's not about him, it's about us. That's his motto, right? And he been writing, or he been doing that since ever. And at some point you have to kind of look at the things and like, wait a second, this guy has been consistently right on so many different issues. Sure, he might be wrong at some of the other issues as well because he's a fucking human. Who knew, right? But just looking at the track record and how things have unfolded, and at the very least, let's just say, all right, the structural change, right? I know a lot of people could be like scared of like socialism. First of all, what the fuck is socialism? You must be insane if you think that government gonna take over everything. Uh, that itself is kind of crazy. like when I say crazy, I mean like so, within the socialism tag. Communism is a different thing, and there are again debates of like what is really a communism. But I don't even know. I'm not an expert, so I don't even want to go there. But socialism on paper, it makes sense for social policies which are affecting all of us. And how did that play out? Like, if you are watching this, that means you have access to social media. So that is socialism. So you are already living in socialism. And there are a lot of other things too, like, obviously you're like fire services and medical services and all the infrastructure. These are all kind of built or funded on the money of people. So yeah, that's all is socialism. It's a different tag. I mean, people don't want to say that, but okay. Even if we are just talking about policies, let's just take away the philosophical concept. Let's just talk only about specific policies. All right, social security, dude. I'm paying my hard-earned money on this social security shit, which I'm probably never gonna get back. So in some sense, I have been donating my money for past 6 years to you, and I don't feel bad, but still, yeah. And I get it, like the concept of like how the people actually paid in the past, with their paychecks. But yeah, that's because we want to create this social net, safety net, so that we don't just let go of people after they don't have anything, any service, like like how we do to cattle, which is a different topic altogether, and it's heartbreaking what we actually do to animals. But especially in dairy farms, right? Like once the cows have past their milk bearing age, then they are sent to the slaughterhouse because there is no use. And in some sense, we, when during our youth, are actually in the dairy farm. This is the dairy farm. Talk about 1984, or what was the other other George Orwell's book? I think it's called Animals or something, but yeah, or Dairy Farm maybe, yeah. But uh, but yeah, we are actually, the whole idea of social security is to make sure that when people have passed their service, then they at least can die at peace. And that's why I get it, like why I'm paying my hard-earned money onto something which I would probably never end up seeing in the first place. And even if I do end up staying here until I'm 65, and for some odd reason don't end up making, which I hope not, but if that what end up happening, then probably uh, it would still be a very, very odd bet to think that the government gonna pay me at that time. All my money, it's gone. It is gone. I know that. It's like, you know, going to a strip club and just pulling off all of the money. And in this case, I guess the government is taking all the money from me, so I'm not even getting the fucking entertainment out of it. I guess, like in some sense, this is the entertainment, right? Like the whole fucking reality, this system is creating. It's a gigantic mess. Man, it's oh, dude. I don't know, man. Like, what? Oh, but if we are discussing about ideas of what would be a better system, going back to that, you know, socialism tag, sure, there are a lot of good, different public policies which we can implement, which benefit to everyone, not to fucking individuals, to everyone. When we include everyone, then yeah, sooner or later people get on board. And then the whole concept is like, yeah, we don't want to pay more taxes. You asshole. What are you gonna do with that extra fucking 30, 40, or I don't know how much you make, but let's just say $1,000, okay? $1,000 a year at the very most. And I'm not talking about the poor and just I would say like lower middle class. I'm talking about upper class or upper middle class or whatever the classifications are now. But okay, even if you have to pay, let's just say $1,000 more, but you are getting better services. Are you fucking shithole? Like what? You are getting a better deal out of it? Okay. But again, I can see like why people might think that I'm coming from a biased opinion because I am obviously. Uh, but also like look where all the money is going. It's all about the money again. So where the fuck is all of that money going? If you think about that, uh, most of the money is going to wage wars. Who knew? And why do we wage wars? Or why does US need to create this whole I don't know, like regime changes across the world? Why? Because we don't like how cultures choose to manage themselves. So we just go there. When I say we, I'm obviously including myself into this picture, but also, it's pretty obvious what are the intention. It's mostly the corporates who goes there for a specific reason, and in this scenario, it's OIL, three-letter fucking thing. Oil. It's all about oil. The greasy oil. US love that greasy fucking oil. Why? I don't know. But that's where I see that it's a downturn because, the society as a whole are seeing this shit and they know that we need to move on to a better source of energy. So, that's why people sooner or later gonna join this bandwagon of new thing of, driving electric vehicles or using better appliances, hopefully. Uh, but also, that will, I hope that, that will take away the US's mission to wage wars on oil-rich countries. And it's been a very slow trend, but at least, since we are moving more and more towards renewable sources, um, and that takes away the dependencies on oil. Hopefully, next century or so, U.S. will be like completely out of war business, which is horrendous because now you are well on paper at least, U.S. kind of march onto different countries saying that we are bringing democracy, whereas your internal democracy itself is going to shit. So, what the fucking argument do you have? Like, what kind of democracy do you want to bring into a different culture? Uh, and also, I think that, most of the cultures do have to evolve within themselves. They have to fight the things from within. Like how people are doing right now for fighting for, their rights and building up this movement through Bernie being, just the carrier, that it's people's movement, which the first wave was, Obama, and he actually crashed big time, but that's a story for another time. But yeah, that's where I guess most of the money and energy is being spent by the government to waging wars into different countries. So with the structural change, that focus could be to creating something, which is which is philosophical theory, I guess, like, creation and destruction. It's kind of like, yin and yang thing, it goes hand in hand. But instead of like spending money on destructing other countries, if US can just use that money and help to create, the communities, the businesses, I mean, the growth going to be exponential. And also, yeah, in my perfect world, that ends what's end up happening. But yeah, well, in reality, bringing myself to the reality, that's not how things work. The things here work in a very different way. I guess it's there are a lot of universal laws, I guess, like, which, uh, if I am again being philosophical, like, why do people in power want to remain in power? Because, yeah, it's benefit them. Who knew? And they make more money. Who knew? And they're gonna do everything possible to suppress the candidates who are actually voiced by millions of people. Who knew? And it would be a huge, huge, huge setback if Democratic Party can get away with this shit. Not just huge setback for Bernie Sanders, that being set aside, but the obvious bias they're doing. It would be saddening. I mean, obviously they didn't learn any lesson, which I think might be rewarded with Trump's next 4 terms, and I guess that would be good punishment for DNC, and I'm still not sure, like, if they're gonna figure this out in the next 4 years. Like, hey, we had our moment, and now the system is more fucked up. Like, on this rabbit hole of turning into a fascism, and I am saying it right, fascism. Trump want to be a dictator, and if you want to just see how would I know, just look at his behavioral patterns. And to be honest, I didn't even know who Trump was, like, before 2016. So, yeah, I have, like, no fucking idea about his whole history. But I can see that in the past 4 years, how he kind of, where he's putting his time and energy. I can see very, very well that, yeah, if 2020 doesn't go in Democratic favor, then after a good 200 and odd fucking years of run, US will be swiping left on democracy. And it would be ironical. It would be, in some sense, it's, what's the right word? Satire, I guess. Definitely going to be tragedy that US, who want to bring in democracy to the rest of the world, itself transformed into a non-democratic state, which we already did, from inside. May not be on paper, but yeah, that's gonna be the new norm. So, uh, who knew? Probably if I didn't end up being here, maybe, maybe, it's probably gonna be for best. But also, I don't know. Like, India have a lot of problems, and some of the things which I'm saying right now, I probably couldn't in India. So I have to be super mindful because, yeah, that's a whole different conversation which I don't want to dive into right now. So I guess right now I'm trying to figure out how to wrap this shit up because there's no fucking wrapping this shit up. This is unfolding in this moment right now. So I guess